Hey guys, just a quick update on all these knives. Um, the last video I made, which was about 2 weeks ago or so, uh, both of these were just blanks. I hadn't put the rough edge on or anything, and so I did that immediately after I put the rough grind on this, which is in I think my last video, and yeah, I put all these grinds on with my cat is up here. I put all these grinds on with my bench grinder, which gave all of these actually a bunch of these ripples, and that's from just when you like if the bench grinder is coming down this way, just straight down. When you run it across there, it's hard to keep it the same angle of grind every time you go across because it's not as smooth as a belt grinder, and so yeah, all of these came out with a bunch of ripples on it, which I hand sanded out with some sandpaper we had in our garage, which was just 100 grit I started with, and then 150, and then 320 wet sand just all over. I mean, that's all I really had, but then after that I went over to my neighbor's because I finally got a hold of him after he was gone on a couple trips and stuff. And used his sander, not a belt grinder, but just a belt sander, mainly for wood. But I just did a light go over on all of these with it. With I think it was like 80 grit ish, maybe 100, but just to smooth everything out. And these are pretty smooth, even though they don't look like it. I'll finish them off with hand sanding and stuff to make them all look smooth, but now they feel smooth. On this one, I had to correct the plunge line with a file after I used the belt sander because it wasn't even really a plunge line. It was just, I mean, it just wasn't straight at all or anything. So I strapped a piece of wood horizontal to this, and and then just worked a file back and forth there, and gave it that plunge line right there. And the reason it doesn't look real even on both sides there is because on this side, on the right side here, or technically the left side, but on this side right here, whenever I was going on my neighbor's belt sander back and forth, I went a little too far and ended up sanding a little bit of metal off of there, which it doesn't really matter because the cutting edge will still be completely straight and centered, but it just doesn't look real proper, which hopefully that'll even out whenever I put the final edge on, which is going to be a lot thinner than that, but this is just for heat treat. And with my neighbor's belt sander, that helps so much. I corrected the false edge up here, and it has a pointy point on top. Real thin tip, so I hope that doesn't crack during heat treat. And yeah, it helped all of these really. And then again, I went over with a 320 wet sand just to smooth most of it out, or just as best as I could before heat treat, and then I'll just do the same thing afterwards, I guess, and probably have higher grit sandpaper. And I'm actually going to go to Harbor Freight this Sunday and take a look at their 1x30 belt sander, which I looked online and I thought I wasn't going to get. I mean, they're only $40. I mean, I wouldn't really regret buying that if it broke after a year. But I mean, I looked at the specs. It's only 13 pounds. I kind of want one a little more heavy duty than that. Plus, I've heard that if you press the steel against it too hard, the belt or the belt will just stop moving. Like it just is too much for the motor. And so I'm probably going to end up getting a Grizzly 1x42-inch belt sander, which there's about the same, if not more, belts you can get for that. But anyway, that's what I've been doing on these. I actually reshaped the handle of this too. It was a little further out here, and I just brought it in a little bit because whenever I was holding it, when it was out here, it felt like it was too uncomfortable for this finger right here, and it was just too far out. And now it just feels a lot better, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. And on this one, my neighbor had some HSS drill bits, which, if you don't know, that's high speed steel drill bits, and they are good for cutting steel or drilling steel, but I mean, you got to work it the same way as any steel drilling. You got to put a bunch of pressure but go slow, and just use cutting oil or drilling oil, excuse me, and just take it out if you start to see steam, you know. But and I did all that, but this, I guess, was too thick for it, and it was a lot deeper than that. I mean, it's barely a dent in it now, but I think what happened is it started to melt the steel, which, I mean, that I don't know what his drill bits were other than HSS, but they didn't work real well, and you can actually see it was all the way. It was about to be through, actually, and then I guess it started to melt the steel a little bit, and it started to fill back in a little bit. So I'm gonna have to buy some cobalt drill bits, which are the best for cutting metal. They're kind of pricey, but you can get like a 29-piece set for like $50, which I don't need. I mean, if anything, I'm gonna look for like a 10-piece or less set, just because I don't need all of them, and it just cuts down on the price. But anyway, that's what I've been doing on these 3 knives, and yeah, they're turning out pretty good so far. And then the Damascus blanks, which I've already shown, I bought these on eBay, and I'm not doing that again. I've been saying that in every video that I mention these, because I have a lot more fun making them than I do just buying blanks and adding handles. But this is something else I did too. I got the Cocobolo and made the rough cutout. I mean, I left them big and drilled all the holes so they match up and everything. And wrote right outside on it. It's kind of hard to see there, but I wrote right outside / and then on the other one I wrote left outside. And you know, it's just I left it long up here because I had the wood, and if I decide that if I do want it to be like that, where it does cover the choke up groove or the choke up choil, I can leave it that way, but I'm thinking I'm gonna probably cut it diagonally here and then kind of round off the end, you know, right here, so it's flush to the metal, and so it's basically gonna let's see if I can get that lined up. It's probably gonna be look something like that, imagining that all of this was covered by Cocobolo. It's probably gonna have the choke up choil opened up and this all rounded off. Anyway, yeah, that one's for this, and that looks pretty good actually. And then these I made, and this is the lace wood. I decided to use that instead of the walnut because I thought the walnut was a little plain, but yeah, this I mean, I think it looks alright. Again, it looks more yellow on camera than... Damn it, kitty. It looks a lot more yellow on camera than it does in actuality. It's kind of like a goldeny color rather than yellow, but it still looks pretty good on there. And then I just wanted to mention that I did decide to use this on the Curly Koa on this one, just because I have Bengal Tiger G10 and MCAM G10 that I got from USA Knife Maker .com, and I want to save those for doing whenever I get better at doing knives. I mean, these are going to turn out fine, but I really want to do those on some of my better ones that I'm going to be making. I'm in about 2 weeks or something. I'm probably going to get that Grizzly 1x42 belt grinder or sander, and once I get that, this is gonna make knife making so much easier. I mean, I'm probably still gonna take most of the stuff off with the bench grinder, but when it gets time to do the bevel, I'll just put that on the belt grinder, and just it just makes the whole process a lot easier and easier to work. And so, anyway, that's what I've been doing, guys. Got all those done, and yeah, thank you for watching. And you can comment on any tips you have for doing any of these, or any better ways to do what I was talking about in the video. And just if you want to see anything, I don't really do knife reviews. I mean, I don't even buy knives very much, but I just enjoy making them. So, comment, subscribe if you want. Just whatever. I don't really care that much, but thanks for watching.